So I'm here with Andrew Foley, the one and the only. We're at his crib right now, actually, just kind of hanging out. And one thing that is kind of interesting about this guy, dude, so Mirza introduced me to you, and I think I'm trying to figure out how exactly I want to describe this. He introduced me to you as like this prodigy YouTuber, gamer guy who made tons of money doing that, and then I come hang out with you, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh no, this guy books shows and just does all kinds of stuff, the kind of things that we're trying to do, right? So give everybody like a little intro of what you're up to and what's going on.
So I do like a lot of major events like music festivals, concerts, and parties and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I've been doing it for a while, and essentially what I've come to realize is that when you do a show, I really think, from my experience, it's better off to have it free and then just make your money off the bar sales. It would be a lot more lucrative, and I think too many people are charging cover. And essentially what that does is like a lot of events won't sell out. They'll maybe get like half full, quarter full, and they won't make as much off the bar. And then the cover they charge for those half full events aren't making up for the lack of bar sales. So I really think it's more lucrative to just have free events or like really cheap events, like $5, and then just making most of your money off bar sales. You know, it's definitely something that I think is a better option.
Sure.
And I wish more people were realizing that.
So what are some of the artists that you would want to mention to people that you've worked with that you're allowed to tell me? You probably had a couple NDA agreements that you can't mention.
I worked with a guy named Suave, and at the time he was just like an up and coming like local artist, like hip hop. And he started out as like just like a SoundCloud rapper, and he started getting like a big following. Right. And I started booking him for my shows, and he was bringing out 100, 200 people every time. And then that built up to the point where like now he's living in California with 100K followers on tour with Lil Mosey. That's making right. He's 17 and he's already hit $1 million. And
like $1 million annual revenue like
he posted on his Instagram story yesterday of his bank account with $1 million in it.
No way.
Yeah, he's 17, okay. And he's on tour with Lil Mosey, who's at I think 800,000 Instagram followers, and he was number 1 on Spotify for like 3 months.
Here's the $1 million question about his first milli though. Did he do it? Is he independent, or did he sign away 60-80% of that shit to someone else before he made that?
He's independent.
He's independent.
And he's working with Lil Mosey.
He gets to keep it.
Yeah.
Okay. So that is a perfect segue. I'm glad that's the answer.
I told him because when he was working with me, people started seeing him and like started trying to sign him, and I told him like, don't do it. Just build yourself up. I was like, you got to be a promoter. You got to be able to pull people to events, sell a lot of tickets, and that's how you'll make it music.
People are gonna think I scripted you right now because that's my whole thing. I used to manage a band in Colorado. And I was astonished at how we were learning as we went, but I was astonished at how much we could get done on our own.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't think that if a big label had approached us and said, "Hey, we'll give you X amount of money for your lifestyle as we build your brand, and then we get to keep X amount of money, off of your future income, for the next 9 years or whatever," I don't know that we would have said no. But looking back, I think that. With all the artists that I met, I think most of them underestimate their ability to build their brand first. And then if they want to get signed, I don't hate on that. What I think, though, is that they should all have that intention, because what it's going to allow you to do is go to the negotiation table with a label if you want to get signed, and go with more power, right? And get a better deal.
A lot of artists will build their brand up themselves to a point where they're not like famous but enough to get noticed, and then they'll just go over and get signed, and it'll be a good deal at the time because they'll help them out a lot with like money and like what they need to get big. But then when they are big, they realize like, hey, if I just did this on my own, I would have been way better off. And now they have to give all this money away.
Solid. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Who do you know of anyone who you think like that actually applies to, that was like they were like, fuck, I wish I
like my friend Hella Skechers, he his music videos all are over 1 million views each on YouTube. He has like over I think over like all his music on SoundCloud is over like 5 million plays. He has a huge following, he's getting really big, and he was doing good, but then he recently signed with I think Atlantic Records.
Sure.
And
Atlantic's
I was like,
huge. That's a huge deal.
Yeah.
That's gotta feel good on people.
yeah.
Even getting approached and having a sit at the table, even if they turn you down,
It's funny though. These people
crazy.
all lived in Austin. You know,
Sure.
I met them years ago. I'd party with them, hang out with them. Like they're my friends. You know. Yeah. And I always view them as friends, and now they like have people that are just obsessed with them. Like they're on the news. They're like people following them around with cameras and shit. I'm just like, man, like, what is this? You know, like these are just people I know.
Right.
They're just and now they're all famous living in California and shit.
You know what's crazy? It always blows my mind at how incestual it is. In the music industry, like you'll get one guy who starts to pop off. He needs openers for his set, so who's he gonna hire? He hires his friends, right? Mm-hmm. Suddenly, you start to notice the same people performing with each other over and over and over again. I know in the reggae scene is very incestual, especially in Colorado, because it's not a huge market. It's getting bigger. Denver's actually starting to have a lot more venues, but everybody starts playing with each other, and you get your homies back, he scratches yours, but all the shows kind of end up starting to kind of feel the same, at least to me. This is my perspective. Yeah. Because you've seen all those artists so many times, it just feels like the same thing over and over and over again. Yeah. You're a promoter, you put together a lot of shows. How do you avoid that issue when you're putting together and selecting the artists for the lineup? How do you do that?
What I do is I actually kind of have like an interview process with everyone before, and I tell them what I want for my event, and I have them cater to it. So like for example, I'll have an artist send me their set of what they're trying to play, and I'll tell them like, hey, I want this, I want that, I don't want this, I don't want that, and I change everything every party or every event to make it different, so like it wouldn't have that same like repetitiveness like you were saying. And I think that really helps a lot. I think it's gotta be.
Is it an online like survey?
No, I have so many people on my social media that I have saved. Like as like I have like probably well over like 50 DJs. You know, I have like a lot of videographers, photographers, everyone involved. I have them labeled, so like I can just hit them up and contact them. And I mean, I think if something like a Google survey would be pretty, more efficient for that. But I just normally just call them up and just talk.
So
to
you
them.
run through it verbally.
Yeah.
Every time. So dude. God, that sounds so inefficient. I love that you're doing it.
Yeah,
it
it's inefficient. I mean, it'd be nice if I had a platform.
But it's a hell of a lot more efficient than freaking putting together the lineup and then finding out on the back end that, shit, I wish I would have screened these guys first.
Yeah.
Got you. So what's your main, like, if you're deciding if someone makes it to the lineup or not, what's the main, like, what do you look for?
Mainly,
what's a definite strike? Like,
well, all right, the definite strike. So what I do, the first thing I do is I look at their music, I look at their followers, and I look at their past events. I look at how many tickets were sold. I look at how well everything went, and that way I can determine whether they'll actually benefit my party.
And how do you find out the real answer to how many tickets were sold, right? Because that's...
A lot of the time I'll ask for like screenshots of like Eventbrites and shit like that. Okay. And sometimes people, the ones who will show it to me are the ones I know are real.
Yep.
And the ones who won't, they'll usually make excuses, or a lot of people will say they will, but they just end up not.
Do you still book them if they can't produce it? No.
So I need to see numbers, man, because I know like everyone's talk.
Yeah.
So like everyone's talk, especially in this industry, it's all just talk. You gotta have numbers and actual proof to back it up. You know, because like I've made mistakes in the past and I don't like to repeat them.
Yeah, so sure. Smart guy. That's why you're 20 years old, and you're just like. So for people who are listening, I don't know. I don't want to sound like I'm. I don't know what to say except I'm impressed. I'm impressed, dude. 20 years old, you're doing a lot, dude. When I met you, you're 19.
Yeah.
That was earlier. Was it earlier this year?
Yeah, my birthday was July 8th, so I turned 20. You met me in the beginning of the year, so.
Was it, dude? I think it was before Christmas though.
Was it?
It was 20.
Okay, yeah, it might have been late 2017. So.
But anyway, it's been about almost. You were coming on a year now.
Yeah.
And you've been focused on some other things too, But yeah, so let's say someone wants to hit you up, right? Go, yo, I want to put a show together, but I want to make sure there's a lot of people there. I want to make sure that there's good openers to perform with me. I want to be the headliner. How does that person get your attention? Do they just literally DM you on Instagram or Facebook, or does that not work anymore? How does someone gain your attention? What
honestly, most of the time, what gains my attention, I get people hitting me up to book them for shows all the time, and a lot of them are just SoundCloud rappers. So what I started doing,
dude, you had like 6 phone calls come in. I'm almost exaggerating a little bit, but there's so many people trying to get a hold of you every time I hang out with you. It's ridiculous. Yeah. So how do they break through the noise? It's annoying. Honestly, being your friend, by the way.
Man, I just put on Do Not Disturb.
Okay.
But
yeah, but so then you got like 60 notifications on Instagram throughout the last 4 days.
Yeah.
What, probably a lot more than that, but what's the deal?
Honestly, I'll just sort through. Like, people ask me, hey, I want to be on this show, and I'll be like, all right, well, how much of a following do you have? How many people can you bring? This and that. And if I realize, like, hey, this person, like, isn't worth me paying for, what I'll do is I'll be like, hey, how about this? You give me X amount of money, I'll put you on, and that way I'm building your brand, and that way you can get to the point where you can actually start bringing people and start being, I'll gain them attention, in return they give me money. Right. So instead of me paying for someone to bring me people, they pay me to give them a shot to get attention.
100%.
And so I'll make money. Like, I had a DJ pay me $400 just to DJ.
Yeah.
And he brought all his equipment, and he did a really good job.
So he paid you. He paid to play. He literally paid you so he could perform for your fans.
Yeah.
Essentially. And that's, okay, so that is...
Because see, me,
I
don't have a problem bringing people, so I don't necessarily need to find someone to bring numbers.
Right.
Most of the time, depending on the event. Like, if I have an event that's like 1,000+ people, then but like the smaller venue ones with like 300, 400, 500 people, I bring that just by posting it for a few days.
If you can bring the people, right? Because to make it super clear for people, this might get a little convoluted if we're not clear. You're a promoter, not an artist.
Yeah.
And so your value to the industry is when you are part of an event, whether and you're a public part of the event, like you're attached to it, you have a group of people that show up to your events because there's a history there of it being
I have
awesome.
a reputation of doing events that everyone likes and that it's consistent. I've only had a couple of parties that were kind of flops.
Yeah.
But out of like 100+ events, only like 1 or 2 being kind of
Sure.
That's a good reputation, and
absolutely.
Like a lot of people show up consistently, so I have like a consistent follower base.
Yeah. So you're not looking to work with artists who can bring people to make your fan base bigger, your party fan base bigger. What you're looking for is artists who can do what?
Can just play good sets and get the crowd lit and make people satisfied with the music. The worst thing at a party is if you book a DJ and everyone hates the music, because you can have a crowd of people, you can have the best setup for a party, you can have tons of chicks, tons of alcohol, and it can be dope, but if your music's not good, then the party's bad. Yeah. The music is like the number one thing at a party. You have to have good music, you know? Yeah. And that's what I look for, If someone has good music and they're willing to pay me to perform, then sure. Same goes with artists. Any artists, if they don't have a big following, they can't bring a lot of people, then they pay me.
Right.
So like It's Late Part 14, I had 5 artists. I had the only one I didn't make pay was Kenny G, because he gets like 8,000 views on his story.
Yeah.
And he performed for free. I didn't even pay him.
Right.
But all the other guys were paying between $300 to $600. And I had like 5 performances, so I made back the venue costs just off the artists paying me to perform.
Do you ever rent a venue from, like, you rent the space from the venue for the night?
I used to.
So you personally and
then I realized that's not what you want to do. What you want to do is you want to talk to the owner of the venue and get a partnership with them, and be like, hey, let me use the venue for free. I take this percentage of bar sales. I keep the cover. And you work out a deal that we don't have to pay any cost.
Yeah,
so instead of renting out the space, you're working with them.
It's no risk for you. And so do you have any advice for people who want to do that? How do you approach the owner of the bar without him going, who the hell are you?
It's reputation. So all of them know who I am and what I can do.
Yeah. Based on what? All the parties that you're doing? And they just heard.
Yeah, they just know. I have videos. I have screenshots of, ticket sales.
What you ask,
recap videos.
What you ask from artists, which is proof of numbers.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So I show them proof.
Yep.
They're always impressed, and it's easy. It's easy for me because I have that background.
So you've got a lot of people who, might be listening who are like, well, I can't throw. They're just humble, which is great, but they're like, I don't want that to be debilitating, Yeah. And they're sitting there going like, well, I've never thrown a 300-person party, which I personally have. It's not that hard. I would agree with you. It's not difficult. But let's just say that like you just haven't been there yet. How how do you bridge that gap from throwing a party with 30 of your friends to do you have one or two tactical pieces of advice? You could just straight up, like, if you do this, it'll change it from 30 people of your, like, 30 of your friends and your friends' friends showing up to, like, 100 people.
So the number one thing I would say is, in terms of getting people to come out, you want to have a really good setup. So you want to have a good place to have your event at. You want to have a lot of alcohol. Everything needs to be organized. It needs to be good. It can't be shitty. You know, you have to have a good setup.
So it's not your living room.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless your living room is a baller.
You can't throw a party at your apartment and expect, like, a good event. You need to have a good spot.
I agree.
You know, and, like, when I would do these mansion parties with, like, fucking, like, 1,000 people showing up, and every single guy that came would be forced to bring at least a case or a full bottle.
Yeah.
I would have to pay for like $200 with alcohol, and then all the people coming would refresh the supply.
Right.
And that's something I would do. But another thing is honestly just have good marketing, have a really good flyer. Try to build up your following as much as possible.
So that's why your parties never ran out of liquor. That's right. I remember you always asking me to bring stuff. I was like, man, he'll have stuff there. It's because you didn't want me to drink. Okay. God, that's smart. I never thought of that. So you provide to get it popping, right? You get it going. People are having fun right out of the gate.
It's statistics. Only about 20% of the people bring their own alcohol.
Right.
So you have to get those 20% to bring enough for the other 80.
Yeah.
And you provide enough to satisfy everyone, to keep it above not having anything. So
what's your policy on giving away stuff for free? Like free entry, free like guest list, like how does that work down? Because that's a shakedown from every friend I have.
A guest list. I used to be more lenient, but now I only really do it for like staff and people necessary. Maybe a couple of my buddies, my girlfriend, obviously.
Right.
But like I keep that to a very short list.
Yeah.
I'll put people on. I'll use actually guest lists as an incentive for people to promote. So like I'll be like, hey, if you bring 50 people to this party, I'll get you and 2 other people free tickets and free drinks.
Yeah.
So
that
like,
makes sense.
Instead of me paying them to promote, I'll give them incentives. Like that doesn't cost me anything.
Yeah. So that's your mantra. It sounds like is you don't put any money down on anything.
If you're spending
a couple $100 on liquor.
If you're spending more than $200 on an event, maybe depending on the event, sometimes I'll spend $300-400. But a lot of that cost is just like Facebook, Instagram ads, like sometimes alcohol. A lot of the other time I'll get sponsors for the alcohol, but sometimes I can't, it really depends. But
interesting.
I never throw down more than a couple hundred.
Got you. How much money on Facebook? Well, you do a lot of your stuff on or on Snapchat.
Yeah,
which
mainly
is free.
Snapchat. Yeah.
You don't push Snapchat ads, paid ads though. They're just organic posts that you create. Mm-hmm. You use the swipe up function after. So I've noticed, and correct me if I'm wrong. Mm-hmm. I'd love to hear that I'm totally missing something. So tell me if that's the case. I think basically the formula on Snapchat posts to build awareness for a party is post something that's engaging, that grabs the eyes, so when they fall on your story, they want to see it.
Yeah.
Something that looks really cool and exciting, right? A video of some girl dancing in a club or something, right?
Yeah.
And it pans over to a couple other people dancing. Mm-hmm. Then it splits over to like some like still image that shows the next party coming up. Mm-hmm. And then like says like, yo, swipe up for tickets to this after they.
So what I'll do is I'll build up the hype. So I'll post videos, like really lit clips. I'll like post recap videos. I'll post like a text. I'll be like, we got kegs, we got bottles, we got jungle juice, we got Jello shots, we got DJ sticks, we got a pool, we got a hot tub.
You're summarizing benefits first. Yeah.
And I'll make it. I'll just hype it up. I'll hype the fuck out of it.
That's a serious list, by the way. I want to go right now.
Yeah.
Where is it? You're holding out. It's 7:00. We got time. All right.
Yeah. But I do that. I hype it up, and then by the time that I post the flyer, there's so much hype that my screenshots and my like response is so high.
What's your favorite thing? You ask people to screenshot or ask them to swipe up?
Normally I'll be like, please screenshot and share with your friends, or screenshot and repost.
How do you find that to be? Okay, so here's how I feel. I'm probably totally wrong, right? Mm-hmm. I feel like asking people to share and like and tag is like you can't do all that on Snapchat, I'm aware. But like asking for those things sometimes is asking too much. And if you do it in publicly and then people don't like
Yeah.
tag their friends, then
No.
everyone sees no one tagged it, and then it looks like a shitty event.
Yeah.
Is that just
see?
stupid?
That's the
Should
thing
I drop
with
that, or what?
that's the thing with Snapchat. No one can see the views or the screenshots or anything, so no one gets that impression.
Word. Is that why you like Snapchat?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So like, let's say.
Oh, that's a major hack.
Yeah.
That's a major hack.
Yeah.
Oh, we got to something cool here.
So like,
Okay.
it's all a mystery.
Oh, that's huge.
What they can see, they see videos of these huge events.
Yeah.
And if they don't see the numbers, all they know is like in their mind they're like, wow, this must be huge.
I don't want to miss out.
Yeah.
That's what they're thinking.
Yeah, so they like, let's say I post it and the first day it gets like
And just for, if you guys are hearing a lot of shuffling right now, Andrew moves a lot. He's like dancing on his couch. He's like been upside down twice. I'm sorry, continue.
Yeah, but Snapchat's the way I mainly do it, and I have such a big loyal following on there that all I really have to do is just post a flyer, a couple of videos every day.
Yeah.
And the event sells out.
Yeah.
You
And your content is pretty much on Snapchat that I've seen is pretty much always about parties. You're super consistent.
Yeah.
You don't post shit about, and I don't, maybe that's not a, maybe it wouldn't be a problem
if I do post other content than parties, it's just something really dope.
Yeah,
you know?
but it's fun. Like, people want to hang out with you, though.
Yeah,
it makes
yeah.
people want to hang out with you, which makes them want to go to the party so they can meet you.
Yeah.
The guy that's always
And I actually gotten so big that I actually have a fan group chat that was created. I didn't create it.
A fan group chat?
Yeah, so I have fans. I have a lot of fans.
Yeah.
It's kind of ridiculous.
As a promoter, that's like the dream, right?
Yeah,
there.
so I have a group chat
People
called...
are walking up to you and ignoring the artist and going, that's so interesting.
Yeah.
That's so interesting.
So I have a group chat that was created.
Where, what platform
it's called GroupMe.
It's on GroupMe? Okay.
3,699 members.
3,600 members. So now you can DM all them, right?
Yeah, and essentially, look, like, they even put my fucking photo. They made a meme of me. I have all these bottles. Like, I have my Instagram.
Okay, I'm looking at... Let me read this to everybody's. So you can't see it, guys, but actually, you know what? I'm going to make this the thumbnail of the video. So it says, got 600 bottles and 20 bottles of Ciroc. What is the super... Wait,
what is the super move? And the super move is because I was really drunk one night, and I had, like, a ton of chicks, a bunch of bottles.
Oh, 600 totties. Okay. All right.
It's like I got 600 thotties and 20 bottles of Ciroc. What is the super move?
Yeah.
And it's just something... It was a stupid meme from like 2 years ago that just got really big. And they made a group chat about me. And it's not even... It gets worse, all right? This is my GroupMe group chat.
Okay.
And all of them are families.
Earmuffs, if you have kids in the room, earmuffs.
Everyone keeps on asking me for autographs. Like, they're straight fanboys. Like, they think I'm famous.
Right,
It's over the top.
I've seen this happen.
Like, every party, they go up to me, they ask for they take selfies with me, videos with me, flock around me, ask for autographs. It's kind of ridiculous. And it got so big to where I created a group chat on Facebook called Official UT Parties. And essentially, it was like all parties in like Austin. And a lot of my followers go to UT.
Sure.
So like I kind of try to market it towards like UT students.
Yep, sure.
And I made this
relevant to them.
Look how many people have joined it the past year.
No way.
17.3K.
That's bigger than the class of 2014 student body group at my college university.
Yeah,
on Facebook.
17K people. And look at this. Like, I post my events in here. You know, I'll post like the flyers. And these are other ones that other people will post too. But like everyone comes in here to look for parties, you know, so
right.
There's always moves on here.
Right.
It's gotten really big.
And I think that one thing that you have in your just like that's working for you though too, right, is the fact that you're using social to spread awareness about fun, right? Mm-hmm. Entertainment. That's what people actually go to social for. It's so awesome that you're not trying to sell stuff that people don't want. People go on their social to be social. Yeah. You're giving them a way to do that off their phone and in person with other people. And I think that ultimately that's kind of the end goal. So you're literally just giving them the bridge to get off their phone and go do something real. Yeah. And that kind of, it works in your advantage, obviously, but I just think that that's something that's important to note.
Yep. And the thing with Snapchat is it's more personal, I think,
right,
in terms of like communication, because with like things like Instagram and Facebook, you post it and it shows up on their feed. But with like Snapchat, everyone uses Snapchat kind of like they do with like texting. Yep. It's like a direct communication. Right. Not as many people talk to each other over like Instagram Messenger or like, you know, Facebook Messenger as much as like I would say Snapchat or text. I mean, I use Instagram Messenger a lot. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. But
Yeah,
know,
sure.
like Snapchat, I just really like that whole aspect.
But if someone is posting on their Snapchat story, they still have a responsibility to earn the attention because there's a lot of stories and they could just swipe past yours.
Here's the thing, Snapchat's algorithm works in my favor. If you're someone who, the more views you get, the higher likelihood you're going to appear first.
Oh, you come up towards the
First.
beginning of the story list, huh?
And if people consistently watch your story, you're always the first in their feed. So let's say someone's a consistent viewer and you have a lot of viewers.
Right.
You're going to always be the first on the top.
Right, because it tells them, what that tells them is that you're putting content people want, they're going to keep using
and
Snapchat.
here's the best part, all the, there's a feature on Snapchat where you can add friends to friends.
Yeah.
So, like, the more friends you have, the more friends of friends are going to be adding you. So the bigger you get, the faster your growth. So, like, because I have so many people, I get at least, like, 50 people adding me every day.
What?
At least. And I don't do anything.
All right, offline, I'm going to be super selfish. You got to show me how to do that one. All right, word. Well, dude, thank you for sharing some knowledge. So a lot of the people that are listening to this are artists. Mm-hmm. We'll cut this. I just want to ask one more question.
Yeah.
What comes to, like, top of mind, first thing that pops into your head, most obvious thing that you think a lot of independent artists aren't doing to promote their own shows and sell tickets to their own shows that, like, is, like, you're, like, just dumbfounded. You're like, why aren't they doing this?
All right, so I think the biggest thing is artists think that in order to become big, you have to be a good artist.
Okay.
And you have to have talent. You got to be good at what you do. And that's part of it, yeah. But I think the number one thing is if you're an artist or a DJ and you want to get big in it and you want to make a lot of money and get a lot of shows, you have to be able to be a promoter. Like, if you're an artist and you're not a promoter, you're not going to go anywhere.
I agree 100%. That's why we're here.
Yeah.
But
so that's
how do they give me something real that they can do?
So what you start doing is make social media accounts that are all the same name.
Okay.
So let's say
the same handle,
let's
right?
say, all right, let's say for example I'm a DJ. My name is DJ Sauce. All right.
Sure.
So I'm DJ Sauce. I make an Instagram, DJ Sauce. I make a Twitter, DJ Sauce. I make a Snapchat, DJ Sauce. I make everything the same name.
Yeah.
Right? That's the first step. Make a logo, done. Put it all on the same. Right. And then here's what you do after that. You start building as many followers as possible.
Yeah.
And every time you post something, you have all your social media in it. So like you have like your at the
bottom of the post, you have all of your other handles listed.
Yeah. So like,
but they're all gonna be one handle though, right? Because it'll all say at
so
DJ Sauce.
So you put like a logo for like Snap, Insta, Facebook.
Oh, you put the logo in there.
Yeah, and just put the name.
Word, because it reminds people.
Yeah,
to go, I'm on
you want to brand yourself.
Yeah.
You want to brand yourself really well. And make it as easy as possible for people to find you.
So you want to remind, number one, be consistent so it's easy to find you. And then also remind people consistently with every post from every platform, hey, if you prefer to follow me on these other ones, they're here for you. And do you ever say that over text, or with the text like, yo, follow me on these other ones, or do you generally just put it as a reminder?
I always put it in a post and people will see it. Sometimes I'll mass send it out to people if I really want to gain a lot, but you don't want to spam that too much.
Sure, agreed. Like too many asks. You ask for too much, and people stop.
Yeah, you don't want to, like, for example, if I mass send out like my Snap code, I'm like, please, share this with your friends.
Yeah.
If you want more people to come to the parties.
It's a long time since you did that.
Yeah, and some people dislike that, so I don't do it too often.
But you do it because you earn it, because you
that has
enough value.
Huge return,
Yeah.
Like, I'll get at least a couple hundred ads.
So it's like how often do you do that? Like once every couple months, right?
Usually like once a month.
Because you're focused on putting out fire content that people appreciate almost every day for like 3 months. And then every once in a while you'd be like, hey, show me some love and share this with your friends who also might want to come to these parties.
Exactly.
And that doesn't bother people. I think what bothers people is when every single one of your posts is, hey, buy a ticket to this gig. Hey, I just dropped this track. Would you share it with all your friends? Hey, like, it's just too much asking, right?
Yeah.
What you're doing is putting entertainment out in front of people for free all the time, and then every once in a while you ask for something, people don't mind giving it back.
Yeah, pretty much. And honestly, they just need to build a following, get as many people as possible, and just really try to, like, get, like, a loyal crowd that will come out, people that support you,
Yeah.
That's consistent.
A loyal crowd. You maybe throw some more discounts and deals and whatever at first,
and just invest
until
in
you
your
don't
brand.
have
like,
to.
Spend money on yourself to get more followers, like invest money in ads, invest money in, like, maybe there's a lot of different options to build social media following,
Right.
but just invest in your own brand.
One thing that I would close out with too, just is something that I know that I wanted to share also, is that I think when people get into starting to like team up with others to throw a show, they go, oh man, this went really well. I have access to keep X amount. Like I want to keep 80% of this and just toss 20% to the guy that helped me get 40% of the people that are here. It's the wrong way to do it. It's short-term thinking, and the problem is that guy's not going to help you again.
Yeah.
Then you lost 40% of the people for the next party.
Yep.
You should just give them 60% for bringing 40% of the people.
I don't even work with people on parties.
But let's just say
anymore,
you don't anymore. But when you started out, though, right? You paid people fairly for what they did for you, right?
Yeah.
I think that's huge.
Yeah.
Word.
Definitely, yeah. You want to be fair with pay because that way people see you as take you more seriously.
Yeah.
There's too like for example,
they'll come back and work with
for
you
example, again. He tries to get people to do stuff for free a little too much, and if he started tossing money around, he'd probably get a lot more better results. He'd probably have.
Adam's gonna hear this probably.
Probably, yeah.
Okay, I'm just gonna remind you.
I'm just saying, like, if he was paying me to promote, I probably would have gone ham and gotten a ton more people. But like, when I'm not getting paid or anything in return, I'll just post it here and there. But like, if he was actually putting me on for something, I could have marketed his products. He probably would have a lot more sales than he does right now.
Okay.
So it's just like that. If you want good results, you want people to take you seriously.
So you're living embodiment of what I just said, which was if you had been just basically rewarded better for the work that had been done or could have been done, you would have done more work and there would have been more results.
Yeah, exactly.
I got you. I don't want to drop like last names and business names and stuff, but he'll know who he is. All right, word. Well, dude, thank you so much. And if someone wants to find you or follow you or whatever to come to one of your parties, where do they go?
Just go to Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, Andrew Foley 1001.
Andrew Foley, FOLEY 1001.
Yep.
And it's the same handle across all the way.
Yeah.
See, it's so easy. Yep. Word. All right, thanks, man.
All right.
Man, we had so much fun with Andrew on this podcast. If you found any of the information helpful and you want to, just get more helpful tips and propel your music career forward, whether you be an artist or a member of a band, solo performer, producer, talent buyer, any of those things, you can find a large knowledge bank of content like this. At our website, you make a free account. It's called mvrkmusic.com. Our whole goal is to keep these artists independent as long as possible. Get them actually, paid gigs and consistent work, so they don't have to sign to a label and sign away their rights to someone else. So that's our goal. And of course, you can follow us on Instagram at mvrklive. That's our Instagram handle. And then Facebook is you just search Maverick Music, MVRK Music. Talk to you guys soon. I'm out.